three, two, we're live. So let's wait for a couple people to show up. Let me hear the audio. Okay, here's the delay. 1, 2. Let me hear the audio. Okay, here's the delay. All right, so it's a 15 seconds delay.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. All right, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining us. We're still 3 minutes early, and so decided to do a live chat, so that a live video, so that anybody that has questions about YouTube Live, about the Sebring drone race, can get their questions answered from the source instead of from, you know, the little bit of miscommunication that has been out there. So with me, I have, hold on, let me figure this out. I have Scully and I have Michael. What's up, Michael?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
And Scully?
Good afternoon.
Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, well, actually, I'll start with you, Michael. I woke up about 3 days ago and read on YouTube, on Facebook, that it wasn't going to happen. The race wasn't going to happen. What's going on? Can you clarify some of the things out there for people?
Well, I don't think at any point in time it was ever totally not going to happen. We did explore that option, and that was definitely a doomsday thought process at one point in time that went through some people's minds. However, basically we had a regulatory misunderstanding between different agencies involved. And everyone, after about a week of working with everyone and working with the FAA and Joe and Multi-GP and AMA and whoever else we can think of in the letter organizations that came to the table, we all met and came to a conclusion and a compromise, you might say, to make things proceed as originally planned for the most part. There's been just a few little tweaks we've had to make, but really no big effect in the long run.
Cool. So right now, what are the changes? What has changed? Because I know that some things have changed. I understand that the amount of money that people can win, that has changed. Can you talk a little bit about that and what happened?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. It hopefully it won't change at all. I kind of actually assume that it won't change. We are able to accommodate. Joe, correct my numbers if I'm wrong, but I think it's up to 124 individual pilots and then up to 24 teams. And if that occurs, then the prize money will theoretically go up, not down. However, the FAA as Part 101E versus Part 107. It was, at one point in time, it was stated that we're racing for so much prize money and that we're racing, this needs to be a Part 107 race. And I said that's not practical for our pilots. We can't, make them all be 107 pilots. That's just not going to happen. And so we discussed what the limitations were on that. The jury went out and deliberated and came back and decided that if the pilots contribute 100% of the prize money, which is what we just said last year as well, that makes them flying for amateur, not for professional. So therefore, they can still fly under 101 if 100% of the prize purse is established by their entry fees. So we have, again, 100 pilots, $200 entry fee, that's $20,000 right there. If we have $1,000 per team and there's 20 teams, we have $20,000. Originally, it was decided that us as an organization would make up the difference if a full 20 teams didn't apply. However, we've been told that we're not legally allowed to do so.
What do you mean by that? You're not legally allowed. Is that the FAA saying this, and why? Why is this happening?
If we were to, let's say we put $10 in the pot to make up, it comes out to $19,990, and we throw in the extra $10. Then the pilot did not contribute 100% of the pot. Therefore, everyone that flew has to be a Part 107 pilot, because they're flying for hire at that point.
So
It's just you with your private pilot's license now. Congratulations.
thanks.
Get that big grin on his face there. You can see that or not. But anyway, as a private pilot, we fly across the country, and our buddies can all pitch in. I can say to you, Alex, hey, I'll give you 90% of the cost of the flight, or 99% of the cost of the flight, but I can't give you 101%, because if I give you 101% or even 100%, it could be construed as you're taking a personal gain from it, and therefore knocks you out.
Okay, so right now, as of right now, can you tell me the first, second, and third prize of the individuals? What do they win?
I'll look that up real quick, unless you know the top of your head.
Well, I remember first place was 10,000, and then I think it dropped to 5,000 for second, and then 3,500 for third. And if I remember correctly, we paid out 10 places, top 10.
Yeah, I know we paid out 10 places. I can't remember what the breakdown number was. I've got it written down in my notes here. I'll look that up while we're talking.
So Joe, can you say that again? Is that for last year, what you said, or for? Because I just want to type it on the chat so that people can see. Was that for last year or for this year?
Michael's going to look it up there, but for sure, first place is $10,000 an individual, and then second place I think is 5,000, and then third is about 3,500. Did you find it, Michael?
No, I'm trying to figure out where I put it. Give me a second. It's going to take me a second.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then we pay out the top 10, and then I believe in team racing the payout was going to be different. I don't know if we published that.
I think it's the same. I think we're just going to decide just to copy the other one.
Okay. Yeah. So 10,000 to the winning team.
Whoa. So, by the way, just a side note. Somebody just Joe Conch. Sorry, Joe. I'm gonna kill your last name. Conch. He was asking where the race is. It's in Sebring, Florida. So it's southwest of Orlando, like 100 miles southwest of Orlando. Is that right?
Yeah, thereabouts, I'd say. It's right back dab in the center of Florida.
Right. So is it an invite, or is it for you to go to this race? Do you have to be invited, or can anybody go?
Anybody can go. Just multi-GP website. Registration is up and open at this point in time. Right now, Joe, what is our numbers as far as last I heard? I think we were 90% sold out on individuals, and 60% on the teams. Is that right? Something like that?
Yeah, close to that. So we have 50% on the teams that we wanted. It's 10 teams right now, the 20 that we wanted, and then there's 92 individual entries of the 100 that we're looking for.
Okay. I just can you repeat that, because I want to type it for the chat. Say it again, please.
Right now, there's 92 individual entries and 10 team entries, and ideally, we're looking for 100 individual and 20 teams. And Michael also posted up the payoff there. First was 10,000, second was 4,000, third was 2,000, all the way down to 10th got $250. And it is open. So if you go to multigp.com and look for upcoming races, it is one of our feature races to kick off our 2018 season, and you can find it pretty easily on the website. It's even in the header. You can link right through from the homepage of multigp.com. There you can register for the race, and you can settle up your entry fees for individual racing or on team racing as well.
Now, take me through the day, because I remember last year it was a lot of fun. I mean, the course is like nothing I had ever seen in that it had real full scale. There was a Cessna, there was a real airplane right in the middle of the course, and that was part of the course. Can you tell me about the course a little bit? Has that been published, and if so, where can people go check it out so that they can set it up at their local park and practice it?
I'll jump in on that and say that we did a Facebook poll, and it was decided that the track should not be published. That people unanimously said that they did not want the information to be published until day of the race. So we are not publishing a track diagram out to the public because of that. Facebook poll was very unanimous. That being the case, I will say, a few tidbits that way you guys can prepare for the race and be ready for it. And Joe, please elaborate any time. We will have the Cessna back. The Cessna is going to be a permanent part of this racetrack. We've decided to. Yes. The Cessna was supposed to be scrapped, you might say, but it is now being kept and maintained, and its life goes on to be the Sebring drone racing aircraft.
I love it.
That's its whole goal for the rest of its life. We are going to change the gates. There's lots of people who are very unhappy about the truss style gates. So those are going to be reduced to possibly none. We may put one or two in, but for the most part, they'll be reduced to near none. We may keep one or two just for traditional purposes to keep the tradition alive, and put those in places where they're not susceptible to being as impacted. We are going to add some other things. For example, I will say we will have a gravity gate. I just talked to a gentleman last night who's going to help us out with that as well. And we're going to have kind of a unique gravity gate, and Joe has not been briefed on that yet, so I'll tell you about that later, Joe. But
say it now. Say it now. What's a gravity gate? I don't even know what you're talking about. What is it?
Well, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be horizontal instead of vertical. So you'll have to drop in from above and drop down through it.
Oh, so kind of like a tube where you have to come from the top and then just.
Wow. Yeah, you'll have to drop down and then I'm working on trying to get some. I don't want to say what they are because I don't want to give away too much and make it so people can practice. But we will have a very tight course in some areas and a very fast course in others. The idea is to have some obstacles, so to speak, or gates in a tight area. That way we can show the agility to the public. This area will be a low altitude area close to the fence. That way the public can see the drones and actually see them up close in flying. Then we'll have a higher altitude area where they will get up to max speed and be able to really showcase what the drones can do, fast speed. So the object of the track is to make it fun, interesting, totally different than what you see in a normal race. At the same time, we want to showcase the public because we have a lot of eyes coming to see this race that have never seen a drone race before. And that way, these people can see what drones are capable of and what these pilots are capable of.
For people that are starting, that are maybe they've only been racing for 6 years or 6 months or a year. What 6 years?
What are they? Time in this industry, man.
What can they expect? So they show up. Give people and Joe, you're probably good to ask this question too because you've been to a ton of races. There isn't a race that I know that you haven't been to. Like this dude is everywhere. What is different about the Sebring drone race? What is exciting about it?
Well, I think the thing that most people are excited about as a pilot to fly it is flying around the actual aircraft in the middle of the course, which is exciting. It's also, I think, one of the gems of America is the South, where you have Florida and California. So for many of us, like outside, I have 2 foot of snow. So to be able to go down and enjoy 72-degree weather, not too cold, not too hot, overcast, not get sunburned, and actually fly, for about half of North America. That's a treat that they don't get to enjoy on a daily basis. People from Florida, they just go on their lunch break and fly, but for the rest of North America, we got to get on planes. So it's also really, really large. Big layout. It's not a small little soccer field by any means. So it's a course that is one of the feature courses. Everyone talked about last year's course, and it was in every simulators, and it was a fun, fast and flowing course. And this year, we'll replicate it as well. So it's not a standardized course that you're going to see in your backyard at your regular chapter race. It's a grand scale course, grand scale event, and it's really the atmosphere of these major drone races. drone racing really started in 2015, to be able to go to events and hang out and meet and pit together with 100 plus pilots. I mean, that is really one of the biggest features, I think, of drone racing, whether the event is activated well or not, is that community feeling, the camaraderie. But with this event, you're not just going to be sitting around. You also, get to fly a bunch, and we've set the schedule, so we're not going to lock people into sitting in the pilot pit tent all day during practice and qualifying days on Thursday and Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. People can come, they can fly their amount of packs that we're going to award everyone that day, and then they can go and fly elsewhere and really go anywhere they want, in the greater Sebring area. So great. It'll be a great competition. There'll be a lot of the best pilots in North America. There's a few that are getting in on planes overseas because it is such a marquee event, but a great community of pilots, some really intense racing. Team racing, once again, is going to be something that everyone will be talking about, and there's really no experience like the Sebring drone race. It's one of the big five that we would talk about annually from last year and now into this year.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on that. I'm not a racer. I'm not even a pilot. I mean, a freestyler or a racing pilot myself. But as far as the fun that you have, this is one of those races that whether you win or lose, it's you're hanging out with people that have the same interests that you have. So whether you win or lose, sure, winning would be gravy, but just hanging out with that group of people and that energy is something that is a lot of fun. And not only that, there's also an actual aviation event. So if you want to take a ride in a helicopter, or you want to take a ride in a small airplane, you can also do that. And also, what the other part that you said, that's not the only place where you can fly. You can go off-site. There are a bunch of areas around, obviously, away from the airport, where you can. I know the guys from South Florida, Sergio and them, the guys from down here, they had a blast going to a lot of different places. But Atomic FPV just asked a very good question. Tell me about the netting. Last year, the spectator area was really cool because the track was based around the spectator area, and so the quads were going by really close. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I'll elaborate on some of those logistical details. So the monofilament netting, and everybody just cringed when I said monofilament, I'm sure. The monofilament netting on top of the center structure last year was a bit of a problem. So this year, and then the pilot pits was off to the side. So just painting a picture for those that weren't there, you walked up to the track, you had the pilot pits on the right, you had vendor booths, sponsors, and flight operations on the left. You walked through that, you walked through a tunnel out to the center section where the pilots were and a viewing area. The pilots and viewing area has been moved off the track. So this year, we've moved the entire event from up by the control tower down by the main entrance. For those of you that were there last year, it's where the food trucks were last year. So we've taken over that area, and that will be where the pilots will be on the air show side. Right in front of that, obviously, be the spectator area, and then on the other side of the fence will be the actual track. There will be two openings in the fence that will allow you to walk through a corridor out to a center tent. It will be an actual tent, a covered tent. That is going to be where the pilot pits are, as well as the vendor area. So if you are a team, and let's say I'm going to pick on you, Alex. Let's say it's Team Urban Drones, and Alex wants to have a booth there. He can have his sponsor booth right next to his teams in the pilot pits. And that way they can support them directly and have interactions with them completely. Fat Shark's going to have set up there a simulator area as well as a viewing experience for the public. And the public will be able to go in there and walk around that tent, but not in the core of the tent, which is where the pits will be. We will have netting on the sides of that tent, and you guys will be flying right next to that netting, which will not be a monofilament. It'll be a different type of netting that is much more conducive to drone racing. However, one of the criteria that we've been told by the FAA is we must have a safety net around the entire perimeter of the race. So we will have a 25-foot tall, or 24-foot tall actually, a net around the entire perimeter of the race, but it'll be away from everything to where it really, if you got caught in the net, you shouldn't have been there in the first place. It is marked by a road, and so therefore you'll be able to see the road and know that, don't get near the road or you'll get caught in that net. And it shouldn't be a problem. We won't have the worries we had last year getting caught in that top net, that's for sure.
Okay.
Also,
yeah,
just reference into the other locations to fly. I have not got 100% approval on it. While we were looking for other venues, we found a property that is, I want to say maybe less than a mile from the track, that has given us permission to fly tentatively. They're going to vote on it this weekend, but tentatively they've given us permission to fly in their field. And one of the local clubs or somebody that wants to bring gates can set up in there and practice, and that'll be a great little practice area.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. Tell me about from the people that have signed up. Any pilots that that come to mind? Is like Sean coming in? It's anybody that.
Well, the list is public. It's on the multi-GP site. If you go to the multi-GP site and you go to the events tab, and you go down the bottom there where it says find more at the bottom of the description, find out more, it'll give you a complete list of all the pilots that have signed up as of now, I believe. Joe, do you have any to elaborate on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big roster. So just like last year, everyone's excited about Drone Racing League on TV, DRL. We have a bunch of DRL pilots, including even Mr. Donuts, Duncan Boisson from France. He's flying in. Sean Taylor is on there. Jaws, the Bud Light pilot from DRL, who was top 4 in the multi-GP national championships last year. He's already registered and on the list. We got Corey Ibanez, who is 2nd overall at the collegiate race last year from California on that list. AK Numbers, who is fast from Florida. Jared, who is 3rd in spec racing at multi-GP International Open and 3rd overall at our national championships. He's on there. C-Train's fast from Louisiana. So right now, 92 pilots. I don't really like to throw down names, but yeah, definitely Sean Taylor, who a lot of people know has been taking a hiatus due to an injury from a stunt on the DRL set, or DR1 set rather. He's coming back with a vengeance. He's actually racing this weekend in Texas to get ready for it. He's challenging as the 2-time multi-GP national champion 2015 and 16, our newest 2017 champion, Captain Vanover. He's racing him this weekend in preparation, but he's going to be there. Yeah, there's just a huge field. I mean, the Chief was another pilot that we met at our multi-GP national championships in Reno, and I think he finished top 6, top 7, but he's on that roster as well. So a lot of the big names. I also see Atomic is on there. Ricky Martinez. There's a bunch. There's a few names here that I don't recognize. There's a few that seem like they're coming from even Asia, as far away as Asia. So. Yeah, I mean, as a spectator, it's going to be some good watching. Of course, we'll have the live stream, which will be great to watch as well. But a great opportunity and good weather. Even if you're not at the same caliber as some of these pilots, just to be able to pit with them and see what they do and race against them is well worth the opportunity that the Sebring drone race affords.
That's the one thing I can say about all these races. And Joe, I'm sure that you've seen it. You go to a race, and there are all the big names. And this is a word of encouragement to people that have been practicing. I know the guys down here, the Savages in South Florida, they've been practicing, looking forward to this race. One thing that I've seen, you go to these races, there are some big names, and you think, oh, there's no way I have a chance. Next thing you know, somebody that just started flying like 7 months ago, 9 months ago, just goes ahead and takes first place. I see that all the time, almost at every race. So if you're looking at this and seeing, and thinking, man, I should go to this race. Maybe I can win $10,000. I mean, that would be best case scenario. Worst case scenario is I just have a great time and meet a bunch of people and hang out with friends. But you might not think that you have a chance, but there is a lot of luck involved in drone racing because it's just how it is. I mean, we saw it at Ride International where the people that won there were not the big names. The same in almost every race. Sebring last year. No one thought that he was going to win at the beginning of the race when the race started. But, towards the middle and the end of the race, people were seeing, oh, wow, look us up. And then, Sean Taylor got kicked out. And then you see that. You see that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's anyone's game, drone racing. There is a lot of luck that goes in conjunction with the skill. I remember, the format last year we did a double elimination. I think it was the top 32, and we got to race number 9, which is right in the middle of the whole program, the losers bracket. And I think of the 8 pilots, 4 of them were pilots that had been on DRL in the last season or 2, and there were also some really big regional champions, some multi GP. It was like a big name heat. Race number 9, I'll never forget it, because that's. When you look at that roster at the beginning of the event, that could have been the final 8, and here they are, racing for one more chance. It's, you expect the unexpected. Mad Air was last year's champion. We thought Johnny FPV was going to win it. He was he was in good pace. I mean, he was the TQ, I believe, going into the final rounds or into the brackets, but he eventually got eliminated. And Mad Air, I think, was 3rd overall in qualifying, and then he just kept flying smooth and faster. And then the final race number 14, he set the track record for the brackets. Like, I can't remember if it was a 5-lap race or whatever it was, but the 5-lap time he posted was the track record that he did in the final race. He kept it all in the tank to the end. So yeah, it was cool watching, but there was a bunch of guys that we hadn't seen at too many major races in that top 10 getting prize money, and it was definitely a great start.
A couple of people asking me questions via text. Michael, can we get in a little bit? Can we talk a little bit more about the track? You said you were talking about some of the features. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the size of the track and that?
I will try to without telling too much. I do want to address a couple things in the chat. I'm watching the chat over on this screen here. Real quick, Matthew Bruss, I believe that is.
Bruss, yeah.
Look me up on Facebook. Give me a call. We'll talk about T-shirts. We did have a plan to do T-shirts. However, the sponsor that was going to do that and do our hospitality in that area, he has not confirmed. I'll say I don't know if it's going to happen at this point in time, but if he comes through, then definitely we will, and I'm willing to hear that. Second, and we can talk about that offline. Also, Double A, you mentioned Conor Marie and the volunteering and so forth. Hypothetically speaking, let's say that you're new to racing. You just want to see some of the idols that are coming, because we do have a great lineup coming. Nubs, Narc is going to be there. I mean, the list goes on forever and ever and ever. And if you want to come, free admission and free food during your shifts if you're volunteering. Conor Marie, and on our Facebook group, she is in charge of the volunteers. We have 80 slots available for volunteers. Everything from quad retrieval to getting Joe Scully coffee to, you name it. There's a list for everything. And we're more than welcome to have those volunteers there.
I think, guys, I think he's trying to avoid my question. We want to know about the track. How much can you give us?
I'll get there.
Come on.
Things. We kept talking about other things to do at Sebring, other than the race. And the one thing that I really want to stress this year that's going to be different from last year is we have what we're calling the Part 107 Learning Center. Let's say you want to learn how to do tower inspection. You want to learn how to do roof inspections. You want to learn how to do real estate photography legally. All those kind of things. You can come there. The FAA, Embry-Riddle, and Soaring Sky, all three are going to be doing courses all day for all 4 days, free of charge for you guys to come and learn skills and learn all those aspects. So I think that is something that is a great opportunity for people. And if you have a question and you're curious about something, and if you were, hey, I don't know why this is or isn't, the FAA is going to have a Q&A booth there all day to answer questions. So moving on back to
let me add something to that before you get on
Sure.
the track. So guys, if you're drone racing and you want to make money, just drone racing, definitely, and I didn't say this before because I didn't like the idea, but now I am saying it. Definitely get your 107, and because that just makes you legitimate in the eyes of the government. Whether you like it or not, that's a different story. But if you want to make money with a drone legally, you have to get a 107. It's just how it is. So the fact that the FAA is gonna be there, and the fact that Soaring Sky and that other company, what's the other company?
No, Embry-Riddle, the Aviation University.
The Aviation University. They're gonna be there, answering your questions and giving a course for free. I mean, just that alone,
Not only that, but I think they're going to be streaming that on the Soaring Sky website. And I believe, I don't know if I can say it's 100% yet, but Soaring Sky is going to be giving a coupon code voucher to anyone who wants to take a 107 course via Soaring Sky. I think it'll be a free course. So they used to do a partnership with Remote Pilot 101, and I can tell you the coupon code for that one was SS30, I want to say it is, to get a discount for those that want it. But quite frankly, I think they're going to give you a free code for those that come in person to Sebring.
SS30, I just put it in the chat. SS30, right? Sierra 30.
Yeah, and that's for Jason Shepard's program right now, Remote Pilot 101.
Okay.
But there is also, if those that want to buy tickets and don't want to volunteer, there is a code. I believe it's Soaring, or maybe I think it's SS2018 is the $5 off discount coupon code for Sebring admission if people wanted to not volunteer and just come and spectate.
Cool. All right, getting to the track. Come on.
The track.
Let's hear it.
So, again, I really don't want to elaborate too much, and Joe, jump in and interrupt at any point in time if you think I'm saying too much or too little or not enough.
Well, you can. I don't think that you can say enough to, for people to like go and try to figure it out. I mean, you're only talking, you're not showing pictures, so.
Yeah. So basically, obviously we'll do a chicane. That's obviously going to be in there. We're going to have lots of flags and set up some high-speed turns. I'm looking at right now, one of the things that I think with that airplane, everybody knows the airplane's going to be involved, and Joe and I have not sat down and discussed this. But one of the things I'm thinking about is doing an extremely high-speed approach to the airplane, and then you go under one wing, around the back, and out the other side. So, those that are trying to practice, keep in mind, hairpin turns and tight quarters will be definitely something you're going to want to practice, because that corner is going to be wipeout central and kind of designed to be that way. If one of the sponsors comes through that I've been talking to, we may utilize their name as the backdrop, as kind of a catch net, so to speak, with the expectation of you plowing into their sign every few minutes. And that'll be behind the airplane. So that's definitely something that, you want to think about. Also, obviously the chicane, that's going to be there no matter what. The gravity gates, moving in tight quarters. And some of the gates are going to be forgiving and some of the gates not so much. The gravity gates we looked at today, they're great gates. They're big. They're nice. However, I guess one of the local clubs calls them the bear claw. I'm not sure how that name comes about exactly, but kind of somewhat resembles a bear trap, or a bear trap, I think it's called. But they are suspended gates by chains. So that's all fine and dandy, except for when you hit them, they will start kind of shaking a little bit. So you want to make sure that they're talking about 8-foot or 10-foot gate. You should be able to hit this. But at the same time, that can add another degree of element of expertise to that. So think about it, and I don't know what else to say. Joe, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a surprise. That's what they said on. That's what they said on Facebook. So, yeah, we've had a lot of fun in the past setting up tracks in virtual settings and releasing the animations and stuff like that. But people found that some were at a disadvantage because they couldn't set up tracks to practice outdoors, or other sim skills weren't as strong as before. So yeah, it'll be a surprise when it comes out. I mean, obviously the plane's going to be an element, and yeah, it'll be great. It'll be a race course.
All right. I don't see any other questions, guys. Let me see if anybody has any questions. But in the meantime, if there's anything else you can add, we started the call talking about the rumors. There were people that, I read one of the comments on Facebook somewhere, one of the threads saying that the race was going to be canceled. Some people are saying that a lot of the, and I mean, I know this is a really fast left turn, but I just want to get back to those rumors. Killing the rumors is really what we're trying to do here. Some people were saying that a lot of the sponsors pulled out, and because of that, the race wasn't going to happen. Some people are thinking, they wanted to get their money back. What can you say about that? What can you tell those people?
Well, I will say that the race is going to definitely happen. The airport authority has stepped up and competed with us to try to figure out what to do to make it happen. And that's great, and they're helping us out in many ways. Due to the rumors and controversy and so forth, we have lost a couple of big sponsors that were really instrumental in making this kind of thing happen. Unfortunately, with them leaving, it does leave us in a tight position, and it's going to make it, for example, someone mentioned the T-shirts earlier. T-shirts were ready to be ordered, and that was something happening, but unfortunately, that may be cut from the budget just because, it's not something that's integral or really that important to the operation. But it's one of those things nice to have, and it's about $3,000. So that being the case, that may be stricken from the budget depending on what happens between now and the race. As far as vendors go, some of the vendors have gotten scared off by all the rumors and the fear of it being canceled. We do need more vendors that are actually selling equipment and selling hardware. And if anybody wants to be a vendor, reach out, give me a call, look me up on Facebook. Michael W. and Hartog. You can go to the Sebring Drone Race Facebook group, and I'm monitoring that pretty much all day, every day. And look me up. I'm going to be making phone calls and talking to people the next 2 weeks straight and trying to make arrangements. It's kind of late in the game, but the more the better.
Okay. Anything else that you guys can add to this? Does anybody have any questions? Because I think that's it. I mean, I don't think I don't know. Well, I don't have anything else to add. Joe?
The other change that we had is we did have to revise the schedule from what was originally posted. Our original plan was to keep the individual racing during the day and have our team racing at night under the lights. But the local representatives felt that would be in violation and are not allowing us to fly at night. So obviously with the timeline towards the event, that we're not going to fight them on it. So we had to revise our schedule. And with that, we've basically had to squeeze 2 events into the time of 1. But I think we're still going to weather permitting, we'll be able to meet a more than substantial amount of practice and qualifying rounds for our pilots on Wednesday. For those that are fortunate enough to come in Wednesday, we'll give everyone 5 packs of practice. That'll be using our tablet system that we introduced at International Open and have refined at other major events since then. And then Thursday and Friday we'll be qualifying for individual racing during the during the early part of the morning and afternoon. And as a pilot, you have a 2.5 hour window to fly 3 packs in a group of about 30 pilots. So it is very possible there is buffer time worked in there. But basically on Thursday or Friday, you're going to show up for your 2.5 hour window. You're going to fly your 3 packs. We're not doing heat sheets. We're also doing this tablet system that we've used to ensure that everyone just flies 3 times when they're ready. The tablet system expedites things, making sure that we're flying full grids and that everyone has a fair shake at scheduled times, and it definitely helps our schedule. So between Thursday and Friday, we're giving a total of 6 rounds of qualifying. And from those qualifying rounds, we're taking the fastest 3 effort. So basically taking giving 6 kicks at the cat to post your fastest 3 consecutive laps on the course. That's how we're going to then comprise our top 64 in individual racing. As for the team racing, we're going to give team racing 2 15-minute practice sessions, all the teams, on Thursday, so that they can practice takeoff and landing and a little bit of the course, even though the course isn't going to be complex. So they don't really need to waste that time flying the course, but getting their team working together. So 2 rounds of practice on Thursday afternoon. And then on Friday, we're going to give the teams 2 qualifiers. It'll be 15 minutes in duration. It'll be the number of laps that they can post in the 15 minutes as a team. And from there, we'll take hopefully the top 20 teams down to the final 8 for the championships on Saturday. Saturday, of course, we'll pick up the schedule will be as before. We're taking our top 64 in individual racing, and then our top 8 teams. So a question had come up early in the chat about how many packs would someone fly if they made the top 64 and so forth. So I think it's about 11 or 12 if you make the top 64. Actually, no, that's wrong. It'll be 16 or 17. So 5 in practice, 6 in qualifying, and then 5 through the bracket system in individual racing. So about 17 packs with 100 pilots is a pretty good amount. Obviously, multi-GP and even my involvement in my personal company, we go to these events and we want to make sure that pilots fly. They're not sitting around to fly 1 pack. And so we have a good schedule, a good system, good team, and we're looking forward to making it happen.
So yeah, that's one thing I can say about from all the other races that I've been to. When MultiGP is running a race, you're gonna get your packs in. I've seen that many times. Other organizations, pilots usually complain that they don't get their packs in, they don't get to practice. I haven't really seen that, that being an issue with you guys, and especially when you guys have a lot of experience doing this. So,
yeah, we've been in some pretty intense situations. I mean, one of the things that we've done, obviously, running multiple tracks, and now with this new tablet system that we spent all of 2017 refining, from Flight Fest West, East Joe Null, into International Open, to nationals in Reno, and then even at the Mega Drone X, the system that we've come up with that pushes everyone through is because we want people to fly as much as possible. Now, when you have 100+ pilots, and 1 course, it's very difficult, but we've definitely refined that system. We were close to not living up to that expectation in Reno when we set up the course, and then the gale force winds came in and blew the entire netting and structure, and we had to lower the course. But at the end of the day, we made up the ground on that. So for people in UTT 60 and Sirius 60, they actually flew 1 more pack than the year before in practice and competition. Than what we had done in Muncie. So we definitely persevere and ensure that everyone can fly as much as possible, and we can make it work. Last year, so this year we're going to exceed the number of times everyone flew last year. I believe last year we also only took the top 32. This year we're taking the top 64 to that double elimination bracket at the end. It's going to make for a long Saturday afternoon because it's going to be close to 30 heats to get from 64 down to the final 8. But it'll be an awesome afternoon of racing. Lots of flying for the top 64, and those that don't make the top 64 will still get an ample opportunity to fly on our big course. And then the other thing too with our schedule is during practice and qualifying days, we're only keeping you there for 2.5 hours, and then you can go elsewhere and fly. So super happy about that.
Cool. All right, guys, I think that's it. I mean, we've been on this for like 35, 40 minutes already. I don't see any more questions. If you do have more questions, though, post them right below this video, even after the video is done, because, whoa, somebody's phone is going off. It's not mine. Even after the video is, oh, man, whoa.
Somebody's got T-Mobile.
There we go. All right, so yeah, post any questions that you might have right below, and you know, I'll try to get those questions answered even after this feed is done, is over. So if that's it, guys, I'll see you at the race. Joe, Michael, and everybody else on the stream, I'll see you guys at the race.
Sounds good. I might just say goodbye as well, and I'll be on the Facebook the rest of the day. So if anybody wants to jump on the Sebring Facebook group, jump on there and ask any questions. Working on a featured hotel, and Connie Marie is working on the volunteer schedule. So those interested in volunteering, jump on the Facebook Sebring Facebook group. I think it's just Sebring Drone Race. Isn't that what it's called, Joe? Yeah. Search it. And Joe watches that as well, so you can tag Joe and you're an admin, I think, as well on there. So any of us can jump on there anytime.
Yeah, that's right. There isn't a lack of opportunity to ask questions. I mean, if you get on the Sebring race Facebook group, even on the MultiGP Facebook group, that's actually don't even ask the questions here, because then I'll have to read them. I'll have to, you know, go on Facebook. Just go straight to that Facebook group and get your answers directly from the source. Anytime, one thing that I can say is that anytime that you see a rumor being posted out there, just go to the source. The source is a click away. It's right on Facebook. It's you know, either on the MultiGP page or on the Sebring race page. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Joe, Michael, if you don't have anything to add, I'm just gonna end it right here. Okay.
I mean, the last thing that I would add is to register for the race, go to multigp.com. You can actually click right off the header. It goes to the registration page. Also, all the details that we talked about from Part 101 events and schedule tweaks and so forth are right on the bottom of the homepage of multigp.com on our blog. So MultiGP is, as much as we love social media, we're also trying to streamline where you get the official information, and it's right on our homepage here for the Sebring Drone Race to kick off 2018.
Yeah, oh, that's right, man. I was on my camera all that time. Yesterday, when we got on that call, the president of MultiGP was saying that 2018 is going to bring a lot of changes to MultiGP. And one of those changes is where you get the information from. You guys are going to work very, from what I'm hearing is that they're going to work really hard on making sure that all the information gets disseminated at the right time and in the right place. Because one of the things that happens is that when there's a vacuum, when there's missing information, people just fill in the blanks with, you know, misinformation. And so I think that MultiGP, it sounds like it's going to work on that this year. So that's the place to go to, right? MultiGP.com.
Correct.
All right, guys. Michael, anything else?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
See you guys. Take care, and thank you for watching.